morning, guys. How are you today? Welcome to your Sunday morning forecast. For those of you that are new to me, thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you that support me over on my Patreon page, thank you so much for your subscriptions. They greatly help. I hope that you guys attended the 444 meditation that we did yesterday at 4:44 Central Standard Time. If you didn't, that video should be available on my page, my business page, or on David Michael Medium's page. We led a 444 activation portal meditation that helps to sort of connect you to the light grid so that you can add your high vibrational energy and light into the grid to help to sort of shift the direction of where we're heading vibrationally. And so if you're interested in that, please check out that video, leave comments, and share that video out if you feel so inclined. That's one way of supporting this channel, is if you share out these videos or comment, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel either via YouTube or the business page, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I do go live. I do go live a few times throughout the week to do different events and things like that. So that's available to you. Another way is you can always message me at the business page and about private readings. I do those. Chakra clearings, and charm readings. So those are all available to you. And then if you have any questions, just message me at my business page. What else? Oh, and follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist 333. Okay? So let's get into this forecast and see what's going on. We've had some really interesting cards. This week I think I was honestly caught up in the energy of what was going on this last week, the forecast. I kind of lost sight of it, I think. And then at the end, it sort of wrapped up when I taped the 4/4 forecast, which I taped today. Technically is 4/4 because I taped these a day early so that they could be available for my Patreon subscribers a day early. So when I taped the 4/4 yesterday, it was a little bit sort of surprising to me because I started to see stuff that I had been seeing in meditation for probably the last 2 weeks. And that's what sort of was the impetus for what will be today's meditation. When you see this, it will have been yesterday's meditation. But you can still go watch it in replay. I believe it's just as effective in replay, and you can watch it over and over again to continue to sort of help to not only shine your own light and connect you to your own light and your own power, but also to connect yourself to that power of source, which is that light grid that is around the planet that we are all a part of, that feeds us and we feed it, right? And we have to be conscious of what we're feeding it now at this point, because there's so many people with so many fears and worries over this pandemic. All right, you've noticed I brought in a third friend. There's a third angel around the card block, and I've also brought in some angel aura quartz, double terms, to just kind of power us up just a little bit more going into this week. So we will see what is going to happen with this week's forecast. Now, the forecast, not to get too long-winded, but I tend to, is 3 cards. They're to represent a few days of the week, starting with the first card being the beginning of the week, second card midweek, third card the end of the week. These cards are not set in stone, guys, and they may pertain to you, they may not, depending on where you're at in your, growth, evolution, experience. But that doesn't, if some apply and some don't, that's completely okay, right? So don't worry if the message sort of doesn't resonate with you. There's plenty of other great readers on YouTube. You can find information from them also, but it may be that you're just working on something different than what this forecast has in store. It is for the collective, the highest and greatest good of the greater collective. So you might be outside of that at this time, and that's completely fine and acceptable. If this is coming to you at a time when it's not the week of the 5th through the 11th of April, that's okay too. This message still might be just as valid for you at whatever point in time it crosses your path. I ask that when I call in my guides and my angels and the Ascended Masters and all of that to sort of make this message timeless so that it still represents for the highest good of all of those that see it whenever they may see it. Okay, so now that being said, that was sort of long-winded. Sorry guys, let's get into the forecast. Okay, so the first card we have is awareness. This is the Magician, okay? So I love this card kicking off our week, okay? We've just had the 4-4 portal. We've just had the meditation yesterday, which will be technically today. I know it's a weird time slip, mindfuck, but just deal with it. This is the Magician. The Magician represents sort of all of the 4 elements, that idea of clarity, that idea of creativity, that idea of pure sort of, I don't want to say mental force, because the Magician draws upon all of the elements to sort of create magic. I love that his crown is connected. We are connecting to the light grid. We are connecting to our higher sort of purpose and why we kind of came here, which was to sort of learn, evolve, grow, and own who we are. And when I look at this Magician, he is owning his magic. He is owning his power. Even if he doesn't necessarily fully understand it at this time, he's not only owning it from his crown and knowing it, he's emitting out that frequency, right? This frequency that I feel like we saw yesterday. We've been seeing this sort of ball planet in that combustion card, and to me, this is sort of like that clarity, right? We've sort of cleared away the red ball that was sort of following us through the last week of last week's forecast. I know it must sound totally crazy, but this to me is us emanating out our true power. Maybe not fully understanding it because it is magic, right? Sometimes when we watch a magic trick happen, we're in awe, right? When I look at this Magician card, to me, it says to me that we have to begin to trust our power. We have to begin to trust our light. We have to begin to trust our knowing and start to act from that place in sort of faith that not only will we, our spirit, know what we need to do, but spirit on the other side is also sort of an intelligence that if we invite it in and work with it, we can kind of create within sort of, I mean, like the cosmos, we can kind of create our space however we want. Now, I know that there's issues outlying right now, like pandemics and world governments and things like that, that, you know, are going to challenge us in these beliefs, but we need to stand strong and be like the Magician. We need to find our own vibration. We need to find and set that vibration and then set it out into the planet. Create it, make it real, know that it is our reality, and then don't like settle for anything less. Do you understand? So this is a major arcana card. This has a lot of power to it in the beginning of this week. There's going to be a lot of sort of opportunity for our own creation, the creation of our own well-being, thus the creation of others' well-being too. When you're talking to friends, you don't want to commiserate about the miserableness of what's this situation that we're in. When you're talking to friends, you want to be talking to them about their achievements. You want to be creating with them a higher vibration. You want to be creating with them, like through magic, the opportunity for positivity, not for negativity, right? We want to be connecting to that higher purpose, to that idea of being of support to and compassion to our fellow man, but like leading them, maybe even unknowingly like leading them, but trying to keep it positive, keeping it in a state of creative magic, and understanding that we have that knowledge, we have that connection. It is within us, it is us, it is available to us, it is extremely powerful right now, especially coming in off of this portal. So remember, the portals sometimes take a day or two to sort of, you know, work their way out. So we need to be conscious, like through Monday and Tuesday at least, of this Magician energy. This is also, I should say too, for those of you that are new, this is the underpinning of the energy of the week also. So this is not only the setup for Sunday, but it's also the underpinning energy of the week. So this Magician represents for Sunday, Monday, and quite possibly Tuesday, where if we stay connected and aware of our vibration and what we're creating, we can create some friggin' magic. And I'm like stoked that this is our lead-in card after the cards that we just saw. So now our next card for the midweek is Suffering in Silence. Now this is a new deck to me. I think, is this the Nine of Swords? Let me just look at this. I want to make sure before I go and tell you guys the wrong thing, because his colors are surrounded by the indigo border, green, red, violet. So this is the mental. Okay, so this is suffering in silence in the sense that I feel like this is sort of that self-isolation. Okay, that sort of, we're still in our homes. We're still sort of feeling that. This is similar to the Nine of Swords, right? Nine of Swords usually represents in a traditional tarot deck as nightmares, self-held beliefs that are limiting us, or I've got to shut this door, sorry. Because between the dogs and the cats and everybody, it's like, I just want quiet so I can get this message out. This suffering in silence is sort of, to me, when I look at this, it is sort of us looking to a better dawn. Do you see the sun coming beyond the mountains? She feels alone, right? We might feel alone in our homes. We might feel like we're suffering in silence, but we don't necessarily have to do that, is what I want to say. I feel like this is now a time of reflection. This is a time to sort of strengthen ourselves. I feel like when I'm looking at the energies of these two cards, this is sort of the spirit in the beginning of the week. And this is the mind kicking in and wanting to sort of take over. And what I feel like, this is not a bad card. This doesn't feel like we're going to be having nightmares. Some of you might have a rough time of it or a rough go of it, but this is going to be about choosing either to stay in this energy of knowing and the Magician and allowing that to sort of mold your mind and create that hope that she's looking to this sun with. Do you see what I'm saying? She's looking to the horizon for like a new dawn. She's looking for new options. She's developing the strength mentally to sort of retrain her thoughts and bring about the opportunities that are waiting for her, that we've sort of created maybe through the 4/4 portal or even prior to that, and we're not really aware of that, right? Or we haven't really necessarily figured out what we actually put into our, I mean, to quote like an Abraham thing, to whatever we've put into our vortex. I believe that it's dawning. And we need to trust that. We might still be stuck in our home and it might be a little bit like lonely, but we need to not let that get the best of us or bring us down mentally. And it's going to be midweek probably a challenge for some of you, because the Nine of Swords would be that sort of an energy to it. But I'm just going to read this to you. The first sentence of this card says, the number 9 denotes completion. Are you finally ready to let go of those limiting negative beliefs? Or are you allowing the issues in your life to become bigger than they really are? Your mind has been doing quite a job on you lately, and even your dreams may be trying to get your attention. When you learn to let go of the worry, despair, and sense of hopelessness, a positive new way or path will be shown to you. Now this is part, and I'm not reading the whole definition of the card, but that's what I'm telling you. She's seeing this new dawn. We need to sort of be aware of where our mind is taking us. We're going to feel strong and empowered at the beginning of the week. By the midweek, we might feel a little bit challenged, but that doesn't necessarily mean this denotes completion, meaning we can let go of some of those fears. We need to understand that we stand tall and strong in who we are and what we've done and why we've come here to be here during this time. Now, the end of the week card. This is the 9 of, I believe this is double 9s, 99, interesting. This is the emotions, correct? I always associate green with, yes, this is the emotions, okay. I always represent green with earth, I don't know why, and so he's gone and put it with, the emotions in this deck. So for this, I feel like there's treasure to be had here. Emotionally, we've got emotions pouring forth, but there's these are wild emotions, right? There's these very strong waterfalls happening here. But I feel like there's new growth to be had, and in this new growth, there is treasure. We have this treasure chest. This person is standing solid in the center, right? Not swayed by their emotional self. And I think that has to do with the 9, this 9 of, the mental realm, right? If we work in the midweek on our mental realm, and granted we might feel a little bit lonely, a little bit of despair or suffering in silence, we need to shift that suffering and we need to bring about that change in our mental space that will bring about that completion in the emotional space that will allow us to fulfill our wishes. This is fulfillment of wishes, guys, right? So this is an emotional sort of centering and awareness that what we wanted, what we prayed for, what we meditated on, actually we might be feeling that shift. We might be feeling that change. And when we start to feel the benefit of that growth and we're not fearing our emotions, these waterfalls are not harming him, right? It's almost as if he's in the center here, centered within the waterfalls, within his emotions, good, bad, and otherwise, and accepting all of it and letting it flow freely around him, because he's no longer sort of ashamed of who he is or how he feels, right? Now I'm going to read you the definition of this card also, just because I read you the other 9. This says, this card, being one, if not one of the most positive of the minor arcana cards, represents emotional satisfaction, contentment, and enjoyment. Your wishes are coming true. Are you ready? Happiness, success, good health, completion, and accomplishment of all your dreams and goals are in the palm of your hand. This card acts as a reminder to hold on to the beneficial feelings from accepting and receiving what you've asked or strived for. Know that these will assist you in the future when you may need inspiration and positive energy. So we want to draw upon these emotions, these positive feeling emotions, and the strength that we had by the week's end, because we're heading into a different place, guys. I feel like there's a shift happening in these cards. It says this is the right time to heal those past memories that have been holding you hostage. Forgive yourself and forgive others and yourself for that, so that your wishes, desires, and goals have a clear, unobstructed path to your heart, soul, and life. Now, you guys, we haven't done the 444 meditation, but once we do it and you see it, you're going to understand what this is about. This card to me feels like us being able to go back to that 444 meditation and do it whenever we want. Connect our heart to the light grid. Look at the light that's behind him. He's centered within his emotional self, growing to new heights and accepting new treasure. He is, we're hitting a different educational sort of point in a way, right? And so to me, and I just wanted to show this out too, this is sort of strange, I'm seeing this, I've been seeing number sequences like left and right, but is this not correct? We have 9, 9, and then this would be 10, which would make 19, which would be 10 and 1, which is a 1. So again, we're on that 1 energy of this focus of the self. Focus of the mental self, focus of the emotional self, and focus of our own spiritual power, which we start off with this 1 energy of the magician. So what this says to me, because the 1 card is the magician, with these 9s here, even though they're offering completion in realms throughout the week, this all of the numerological numbers in these cards lead us back to this magician energy. So I kind of want to say that this feeling of this magician energy never quite leaves, even while we're dealing with this 9 here, with this mental self, and while we like sort of clear any suffering in silence, let go of those emotions, forgive others, keep people uplifted, and keep ourselves uplifted. And then by a week's end, we begin to really feel that. We're going to start to see some sort of a change. There's going to be some sort of a shift. I wouldn't even be surprised if by week's end, we see something in the news that gives us a huge amount of hope. I feel like this card is telling me that there's going to be a shift, like I don't know if it's a vaccine or the curve turns, something's going to happen, guys. I feel that. And so I really hope that that's what we manifest, and we understand that our dreams, our hopes, our wishes, our thoughts, our energy, our meditations are driving us in that direction. We are driving the car here with this magician card, and we need to remember that. Now let's go to the vibrational energy deck. Sorry if I sound so preachy, I'm just super excited. It's weird to feel this excited and hypey in the middle of a pandemic. Like I felt so sort of upset and depressed, but these cards feel like we are seriously shifting something. I can feel it in my body, and I hope that you guys are feeling it too. So let's see what the vibrational energy deck has to say. And actually 9 and 9 is 18, which is another 9, guys. So we have a 999 there. I would look up the significance of the number 999 because 9 and 9 is 18, which creates another 9 numerologically. Let's see what the... Actually, I'll Google 999 for you guys before I sign off. Let's see. Oh my God. So the vibrational and energy deck says this card is called openness. There's this bird of peace, this dove, lifting up this cage. And there is light streaming through this cage. It's beautiful. You guys, we're going to be freeing ourselves from our cage. We're working on it. And you have to trust that we're working on it. I also feel like you have to trust that Spirit is working on it on the other side. And you have to invite them in, right? Invite them in, talk to them, open up that conversation with them. Understand that your soul and your spirit has all kinds of information within it. All kinds of power. That's this magician card. That's this one energy that flows through this week with you, right? And that power and that energy, that focus, that knowing, as we deal with some of maybe the scarier parts of the mind, as we forgive each others emotionally and we set ourselves free, we begin to create this openness within us, which allows us to free ourselves from our own cages, which allows ourselves to have more peace. We have this beautiful dove here representing that. We have this idea of we're flying above the problems of the earth. The earth is down here. It's not that we're not connected to it. It's not that we don't love it, but it's like that we don't have to be affected by it or dragged down into it. We can actually lift that cage for ourselves and others. And allow ourselves, this dove is also to me like talking about connecting up and above to this light grid that is above us, that sort of supports the planet and that supports us. So keeping that idea of remaining open to possibility, dwelling in possibility, dwelling in the idea of our own power, in the idea of our own strength, in the idea of our own sort of creative prowess, and what we can actually do from within our hearts and our minds is going to be powerful this week. Now, this is the grounding stone. This is something to ground in this week. This is funny because this is the angel in my Archangel cards for the Patreon subscribers. There's a card for the month of April that was what deck was it from? The Angel Meditations. This was something to meditate on in the month of April. This is on Snowflake Obsidian, so this is about sort of the balance of light and dark, right? To me, as I look at the Snowflake Obsidian, there's, let me just show it to you. It's a black obsidian stone, which is very grounding and wards off negative energy, but with the snowflakes, to me, there's the inclusion of that gray or white color. But the word is sharing. I think that this is an opportunity for us to not only share, and sharing is also part of openness, right? Sharing our light, sharing the acknowledgement of our own magic and our own spiritual strength, our own mental capabilities and what we've worked on throughout the week, and then our emotional selves, but sharing them in a positive way, right? Sharing them in a way to bring balance to those energies of light and dark. Sharing them so that we are, sharing that our light and being open with that. Sharing who we are authentically, even if we have to do it from afar right now because of, physical distancing. But that doesn't necessarily make it any less real. I think that this time alone or this time apart is enabling us much needed time to access this awareness of self so that we can share it. So that meditation that's in the Archangel reading for the month of April, it's being said right here. This is the theme for this week, this idea of what do we share with ourselves, about ourselves, and then what do we share with others, right? What is it that we, hold on one second. What is it that we want to share with others to sort of lift them up? And I think that there's no more room for hiding anymore. This connecting to the light grid and it's like we're standing up and we're being counted. We're sharing our power, ourselves, our authenticity, all of that in an effort to sort of better this world, better our experience, create a better more open experience, more peaceful experience. So keeping that in mind this week as your theme, I'm excited to see where these cards go. I am going to tell you guys, do not get caught up in the mainstream media. And I have a feeling by week's end, we're going to see some sort of a shift that is going to give us hope on the global scale. I hope that's the case. But if not, make sure that you're finding that emotional strength within yourself, that emotional release, forgive yourself and others, and allow this openness to take place throughout this week. Now, I'm just going to read this to you. The spiritual meaning of the number 999 is completion. The number 9 is the last single digit. So when you see this number everywhere you go, something in your life is ending or will be completed soon. This can be good news or bad news when it comes to love. The angel number 999 represents your angels working for your benefit. Call them in this week, guys. We're going to call them in this afternoon when we do the 444 meditation. I suggest, if you haven't watched it, to go and watch it even after. You don't have to be there for it live. Consecrate your body in some way. Do a ritual. Sage yourself. Take a salt bath. Even just a simple shower, and anoint yourself with cologne if you need to. But whatever you need to do, get centered into your body, into your space. Connect with your spirit. Sit down. Do the meditation. Do the visualization. Connect. See how it feels. And then continue to connect throughout the day whenever you choose to. Go back and rewatch the video and reconnect and give that light. Be open. Share who you are. Share yourself with not only the light grid, but with the world in a way. And as you shine, you liberate others to shine. I'm going to read this quote to you. It's over here on my wall. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This is the work that we're here to do. Liberate ourselves and ultimately help to liberate others. That's that sharing grounding stone, sharing who we are so that people can share who they are. You guys, this is your forecast for the week and starting on Sunday. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me a like, share, a comment. Please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing how this week rolls out. I love you all. Hang in there. This is definitely turning down a different road. I can see it, I can feel it, and I want you guys to believe it. Take care, and I love you all. Bye-bye.